Tonight we're talking about two stories from the book Strange Tales of a Chinese Studio. And before that, tonight we're drinking melon soda. This story happened near a village in North China. There was an intersection of two roads near a town where people pass by. They would take a break, and there are some taverns and motels, people serving drinks, tea, cigarette. One night, these four cutters come in this motel and they demanded a room to stay in. But sadly, the old man who worked there says, sorry, we're fully booked tonight. So the motel was run by this old man and his son, which his son was not in the motel tonight. He went out for business and he's not gonna make it back tonight. The four cutters said, please, I beg of you, we just need any kind of room. It's raining hard outside. It's really late. We just need anywhere to crash. The old man has a place in his mind, but he wouldn't know if it was appropriated to keep guests there. But nonetheless, with the cutters begging, he decided to take them there. He took the four men, they crossed the street, and they went to a completely different building. In that building, there was a small room. There was a wooden table in the middle, and there was one lit candle in the middle of the table. Next to the table was a wooden bed. On top of it was a corpse. The corpse was covered in the traditional Chinese paper blanket, and then on her face there was a yellow sheet of paper, which was a custom for corpse. Next to this small room was another room where there was four beds put together, and that's where the old man had in mind for the four cutters to sleep in. The four cutters didn't complain at all. They were really tired from their work, so they just hit it back and very soon they start snoring. Except when one of the cutters still drifting in and out of sleep, he heard the paper rattling noise. He opened up his eyes and he looked into where the corpse was sleeping, and then he saw the corpse sitting up, and then she stood up. He saw her walk into this room and she started blowing air onto the cutter's face. The one cutter who was awake was pretty scared, of course, so he hid under his blanket until he hears nothing, and then he looked. The corpse already went back to her bed. It was like nothing happened. He wasn't sure if he was dreaming, so he kind of nudged the guy next to him, which he didn't move. He didn't respond at all. There was no way for this guy to go back to sleep, so he got up, he put on some clothes, tried to investigate. But while he's still putting on his clothes, he heard the bed creaking again, and then he looked out again. It was the corpse standing up and coming his way. He was so scared, he ran out of the room without any shoes on. And when he looked back, the corpse was tracing her. The cutter ran toward the motel. He wanted to go bang on the door and tell the old man about this, but because the corpse was tracing pretty close by, he was afraid that she would caught up if he stopped. So he just kept running south. In the street, he would yell really loud, try to wake anyone up, but sadly, the buildings on the side of the road, none of the lights were lit up. Nobody was waking up by him. So he just keeps on running until he sees a temple. The man can see that on the second floor of the temple, there was still candlelight, and he can hear the sound of the wooden bells, so he knows that the monks are awake. He went onto the door and then banged on it, begging for the monks to open, but the monks inside sensed that something evil might be coming, so they were too afraid to open the door. When the cutter turned around again, the corpse was in his face. So he dodged and ran to the trees on the side of this temple. There was one really thick tree that he was hiding behind. The corpse went there and then she was trying to reach him behind the tree, but he would dodge it every time until they both got pretty tired. So they just kind of, and then suddenly the corpse lunged forward and tried to grab him around the tree. The cutter's knee went weak and he fell on the ground, and he sees that the corpse kind of gave up and she went back to sleep. Should I say sleep? And he sees that the corpse gave up and she just kind of went back to sleep. After a good while, the monks inside the temple sensed that there was no sound outside, so They opened up and they came out with a little lamb. They see this guy on the floor, passed out. They thought he was dead, but they saw his chest still having some movement, so they brought him in and he would not wake up until the next morning. The next morning, the monks gave him some water and then he told them the whole story. The monks would not believe what he said, so he said, okay, go ahead, go check out that tree. The monks did go check the tree, and to their surprise, there was a corpse still on it. They told that to the police. Police investigated the scene, also the motel, and they can confirm that yes, the motel did lost one of the corpse. And then unfortunately, the other 3 guys, they all passed away. Turns out this corpse was the wife-in-law of the old man. The son went in town to buy some wooden planks to make her coffin, but he just couldn't come back in time. Nobody knew why this happened. The old man gave this carter some compensation, and that was the end of the story. Before he left though, the carter said, the 4 of us came out of our family to do business. However, today I'm coming back while the other 3 are all dead. I can't tell this story to anyone, but who on earth will believe me? So a lot of questions were raised on why this corpse would seemingly attack these 4 innocent carters. Was she treated unfairly in the house? Why did she die? Why was she put aside in a little room without having proper burial? Do you have any guesses? Feel free to comment in the comment section. Once upon a time, there was a handsome, well-educated young fellow. We'll call him Mr. Wang here. One early morning, Wang was trying to get to the market, and on the way there, he saw a young girl with a seemingly really heavy backpack, and she's struggling with it. Wang walked toward the girl and realized that that's like a 16, 17-year-old really pretty girl. He asked, excuse me lady, why are you by yourself this early in the morning just coming outside? The girl just kind of replied coldly, why would you ask? It's not like you can help me or anything. Wang said, what is your worry? Maybe I can actually help. And the girl said, my parents got greedy. They sold me to a rich family as a concubine. The wife got jealous and she abuses me all day long. So I ran out last night and I'll just see where I can run to. Wang said, do you wanna perhaps crash at my place? And the young girl happily accepted. Wang took the girl to his place. The girl kind of looked around and asked, where's your family? And he said, this is my reading room and I know about this place. That night, they kind of slept on the same bed. Later, the girl told Wang, I am really grateful to have this little place. Thank you for treating me like this. Please keep me a secret though. I don't want anyone to know about it. And Wang said yes, except he's a terrible secret keeper. During one morning, when Wang was having breakfast with his wife, Chen, he accidentally told her about this. Chen, thinking that this young girl might escape from a powerful family, advised Wang to kick her out, which Wang rejected. Another day, when Wang was again going to the market, he saw a Taoist priest. This priest sees Wang, kind of sized him up, and then asked, have you met anyone strange recently? And Wang was like, no. The priest responded, but I can see the evil presence on you. Are you sure you never met anyone strange recently? Wang did thought about the young girl. It's just a beautiful young girl. How can she be evil? Perhaps the priest just trying to scam him some money. So he said no. The priest walked away saying, okay, it looks like this man is 1 foot in the grave, but he's still lying on me. Wang was a little confused by this encounter, so he went home. But when he walked by the reading room, he decided to go check it out. And then he found that the gate was locked. He went to a lower part of the fence and then he climbed through. He went directly to the window, which was also locked. So he peeked inside and then he sees a green-colored demon with saw-like teeth, just kind of sitting there painting something. What he's painting on seemed to be a set of human skin. When he was done with the skin, threw the pan, and then he picked up the skin and threw it on himself, and voila, he became the young lady. Wang was kinda on the floor like a dog, and he was so scared. So he just crawled out like that. Wang went back to the market to find a priest, but he was nowhere to be found. He ended up finding the priest in the countryside. He told the priest about this, and the priest thought, I can tell this demon is about to reincarnate. It would be a pity to kill him, but I do want to spare your life. How about this? Take my fuchen, hang this on your door frame, and then you will be able to sleep soundly at night. It will protect you. Wang went home with the fuchen, did exactly what the priest told him, and that night he slept soundly. Except, in the middle of the night, there was a creaking noise outside that woke up Chen. She looked out a window, and then she saw a young girl walking toward the room. However, she stopped when she saw the fuchen. She seemed to be a little furious, scared, turned around, just to immediately turn back, and then she got mad. She said, am I gonna let him get away from this? She's just trying to scare me. There's no way I can just let him go. This young girl rushed inside the room, hovered on top of Wang. She snatched his heart out, and then she stormed out of the room. Chen was crying in silence because she was too afraid to make any noise. The next morning, Chen asked Erlang, Wang's brother, to go find the priest to ask for help. Erlang found the priest in town, and the priest was really mad about this. He said, unbelievable, I pitied that demon, but how can he beat something so horrendous? I have to revenge. Erlang took priest back to the house. The priest kind of looked around and asked, who lives in that room? Erlang said, that's my room. And the priest said, she's inside. Erlang couldn't believe it. I was like, what do you mean? And then the priest asked him, did anyone strange come today? Erlang said, I don't know. I mean, I came looking for you very early this morning. I didn't see anyone. Erlang's wife, however, said, actually, after you took off, there was an old lady that came. She was asking if she can work here as a housekeeper, so I let her stay. Everything became apparent at the moment. The priest stands in front of the room, and he pulls out a wooden sword. He yells into the room, you foul demon, return me my fuchen. At this moment, an old lady ran out of the room when the priest caught up with her and then hit her with the wooden sword. The old lady fell to the floor, skin kind of fall off like a jacket, revealing the green demon. The demon was begging on the floor, but the priest just cut his head off with the wooden sword. Next, the body of the demon kind of turned into strange thick smoke when the priest pulled out a bottle, happens to suck in all the smoke, and then he will close up the bottle and then contains the demon's remain. The floor was clean, like nothing happened. It was just that sheet of human skin. Everyone kind of gathered around to look at it. It was so perfectly painted. The nose, the lips, the eyes, all looked real. The priest picked it up, which it made sound that was like paper. He folded, and again, he kept it, and he was about to leave. However, Chen would drop to her knees, beg the priest to please bring Wang back alive. The priest said, that's outside of my power. I couldn't bring anyone back alive. But I think I know somebody who can. There's a homeless man. He's a retarded. He also sleeps in the mud. He's really filthy. But I think he has the power to bring your husband back in life. You can find him in town. He might humiliate you, but must remember to not give up. Chen, without a word, brought Erlang to town to look for this homeless guy, which of course they saw this bugger. He was kind of singing to himself. He's pretty gross looking. He's got snot all over the place. Chen dropped to her knees again, and she inches toward this beggar. The beggar sees her coming, was like, hi beautiful, are you trying to hit on me or something? Chen just asked, please, can you bring my husband back alive? And then she proceeded to tell this beggar the whole story of what just happened. The beggar said, anyone can be your husband. You can just get remarried. Why would you want him back alive? Chen was totally not distracted by this question, and she just keeps on digging. It was at this moment The beggar kind of lost his patience. Why would you ask me for such dead man business? Who do you think I am, the god? Why do you think I have the power to bring him back alive? Just get lost. Chen would not give up. She stays on her knees while the beggar started to hit her with his cane. When this drama happened, the bystanders started to gather up, and there was a huge crowd kind of blocking the street. After failing to deter Chen, the beggar just spit in his hand, held it to Chen and said, "Eat it." Chen's cheeks was on fire, and she's also frozen. She could not believe what the beggar just tell her to do. But she also remembered that the priest said it doesn't matter how much he humiliates you, you must not give up. So she kind of numbed herself and she ate the spit. It was so gross. The spit was so thick it would not go down. It would get stuck in her chest. And it was at this moment the crowd was like, ew, oh, and then the beggar is like, oh look, she likes me after all. And then he would disappear in the crowd. Chen wanted to get up and chase, but there were so many people, they totally lost the beggar. Feeling defeated, Chen and Erlang went home. Chen was alone in the room with her husband's corpse. Nobody would come close to this corpse to dress it or clean up because it was so brutal. The chest is popped open and organs fell everywhere. Chen sitting there couldn't believe what happened today. Her husband just got killed the most brutal way possible, and she just ate some beggar's spit for no good reason. So there's nothing she can do at this moment. She just hugged her husband's corpse and start crying really loud. It was at this moment she suddenly had the urge to puke. Turns out the spit or whatever that was hanging on her chest start to come out. She would throw up in her hand and she'll see it's a human heart. It was still pumping and it's still steamy. It was totally fresh. Without a second thought, she put this heart inside her husband's chest and then she wrapped him up with his silky clothes. That night, the husband's cold body started to turn warm again. In the morning, he would have breath again, and then he would wake up. Wang said, "It all felt like a dream. I couldn't feel anything except that my chest is still mildly painful." And he would undress to take a look. It was just some scar, but there was no major wound. And within a few days, he would just heal up. A wise man commented in this story. The young girl was definitely trying to scam Wang, and he couldn't sense it. The priest was definitely trying to save his life, but he wouldn't listen. At the end, he lost his life, and his family had to suffer the consequences of humiliation. Do know that even though this story was written 200 years ago, the teaching is still valid today. In our society, there's so many temptations. So many people try to scam us. They were under the painted skin of somebody cute, somebody attractive, and we would fall for them. And then there are a lot of people who's trying to help us. We wouldn't listen. So be careful out there. Do not fall for the temptations, or the consequences might be severe. With that said, I hope you have a good night. My pants is wet.